Boom! What's going on, guys? This is Zach from the Blue Republic, Red versus Blue, EVE Online, etc, blah blah blah. Let's get cracking. This is going to be a new series, and it's going to be called So You're Flying ... And this is where you guys get to fill in the dot of what ship I'm going to actually be showing, and if you want to say any special fits or any shit like that, or I can just show you what fits I would use in whatever situation, like solo, small gang, fleet, all that type of bollocks. So yeah, I just thought I'd kick it off with a thorax for this week, so it's pretty baller. So we're going to get undocked here, talk about 2 fits, 1 shield, 1 armour, and then at the end I'm going to show you some vigilant footage on sort of how to fly the ASB version. So happy days, hope you enjoy, guys. Boom, so let's get straight on with the fits here, guys. One thing I will say, I have got level 5 everything for gunnery and stuff, so the figures will, especially if you're a new player, will probably decrease quite a lot for like DPS wise and stuff, but the ship itself, it's all about tracking and actual projected damage rather than like huge DPS numbers, but it is still quite decent. So we'll start off with the guns, the heavy neutron blasters. Obviously the neutrons are the best of the hybrids in any form, like even the T1s is better than the T1 ions and stuff like that. So neutron blasters are a must, and they hopefully will fit. Other than that, I would just recommend dropping 1 neutron and using 1 ion, and then you're not nerfing the damage and the ranges too much, rather than using like a full rack of ions and stuff. So we're obviously going to be using null, and null is an absolute must in this fit. I think like the T1 ammo with the meta guns, it's not going to be fantastic, but it's not going to be really bad either. You might be able to get away with the fit a little bit, but you just have to really watch where you're piloting and stuff like that, and keep an eye on the ranges a little bit more than what you would with this. Next up, we've got ancillary shield booster. Yes, that is a large. I was going to fit an extra large, but to do that I would have to nerf the tracking, which I didn't want to do. So basically the fit's going to be a kitey fit, so you're hopefully not going to be getting scrammed down too much before you like kill stuff. And also it keeps the sig radius down, because we're all going to be running the micro warp drive pretty much 100% of the time in any fight we need to be in. And obviously the MWD with the shield extender will put your sig radius massive, so you're going to be taking more incoming damage. And the overall boost of HP from the large ancillary booster is more than what you would get from a large anyway. So that's happy days there. Oh, we've got some rats shooting us. And the next one, I've dropped a point in favour of more tracking. Fuck's sake, stupid rats. Alright, sorry about that, guys, the rats are dead now, so we'll get cracking with the fit. I've dropped a point in favour of a tracking computer with a tracking speed script. Is that what I'm using? Yes. And I find this to be absolutely great, like absolutely fantastic. It gives you more tracking, which again is what the ship's all about. And if a little Atron starts racing towards you, chances are he's going to be dead in like 2 or 3 shots anyway, so he hasn't even got time to line out and stuff. And the low slots now, we've got 1 mag stab just to increase DPS a little bit, and 2 tracking enhancers, obviously we just talked about that. Damage control, safety net for the large ancillary, and a core processor. You can get away with using a Tech 1 version just to fit the large on this one, so that's pretty decent. You don't have to waste all your money on the T2. Rigs, it gets a little bit more expensive because you need to fit an ancillary current router, which at the minute are about 7mm at headquarters, but I think they're still like 5.5, 5.7 in jitter, so if you go there and buy in bulk, it's happy days. And if you're lazy like me, you'll just buy them in fucking like Curie and make everyone rich and laugh at you and stuff like that for buying expensive shit. And the rigs, we've gone for 2 anti-EMs because as standard the Thorax does have 0 resist to EM on the shield, and you obviously need to plug that hole, especially if you're going to be like fighting laser ships, because they're going to be whacking the EM damage in you. So yeah, the overall fit is fucking great. The speed, let's run through that quickly. MWD on, going to be doing 1450, is it? I can't see the screen, the writing's too small on my screen. That's pretty baller as well, that's pretty good, and we'll just run an MWD cycle as well. And I would recommend, if you're landing close to a fleet, to always burst 2 overloaded cycles of your MWD, and that'll get you turboed out of range there. And hopefully, like, by the time the frigates have started aligning to you, you're going to be low transversal for them and just rape them. So overloaded, you're going to be doing over 2,000, which is pretty baller. Happy days. And the obviously the bonus to the racks, you can run the fucking MWD for ages and ages and ages. So it's happy days all the way around. So a couple of examples of fights I've had recently. I've just been soloing red fleets, like literally like 20, 30 people, it doesn't matter how many people's in the fleets. As long as you sort of warp in at range, just head directly away from them. You'll always get the 2 or 3 people that'll just think, oh fuck it, I'm going to go and tackle this racks. And they'll just head straight for you, they'll just click you and just hit approach. Their transversal will be 0 as they get into range. As soon as they get to 30k of you, overload that fucking null and just start fucking raping them. And they will pop within a few shots by the time they get you. Even the ones that are going to be kiting around you, you'll still track very well. Right, so we'll quickly move on to the DPS figures and the ammo. So obviously we've got the T2 guns, so we can use the T2 ammo. So it's null, medium in this one, which is absolutely baller for what it's used for. So we've got a range of 22 kilometers, fall off range of 22 kilometers, sorry, and optimal within 8. So that's pretty beast. Like as soon as something hits 30k, just start spamming the gun, like, and it will die, I guarantee you. DPS figures for that overloaded is 474.2. Well, I don't think the 0.2 is going to make too much difference. And we'll try it with the antimatter. Now I do use the Caldari Navy antimatter over the Void because the Void gives you the fucking tracking nerf, and we don't want that on this ship. Even with all the tracking stuff, it is still quite hard to hit frigates if they get close with a Void. So overloaded damage 574.9, so it's not bad at all, like just sub 600. Obviously, if you're a new player upon me, you're going to be doing a little bit less. Another thing also, you get drones, and I normally just take like 10 warriors or 5 warriors with some ECM drones if I'm going to be fighting like bigger ships, like in this fit. But like I said, it's just anti-support ship really, so keep it to frigates and desis and you'll do well. So a pretty boss ship, guys. Like I say, I've been using it for the past, like, well, many weeks gone past. You can check my kill boards. I've lost absolutely tons and tons of these thoraxes. Like sometimes I've used the points on them, but I find the tracking answer much better. Tracking computer, sorry. Also Demioses and Vigilance as well. I've been using like this whole just exclusively all the time. It's just fucking absolutely amazing. Hybrid turrets are just crazy at the minute, like just so overpowered. Alright guys, next fit I've got for you is an armor fit one. It's a fleet brawler. Just get in there, do as much damage as you can before you die. So we're going to go in for high DPS, high buffer on this one. Let's start with the guns again. So it's a bit different to the shield one. This one, because of everything got fitted, I had to go with Electron 2s, which is the worst of the 3 tiers of hybrids, but you'll see in a minute why I had to use them, because it's still pretty awesome. Full rack of them, so they fit dead easy, like easy CPU, pretty low power grid needs and stuff for them, so it's happy days all the way around. And mids, we've got a T2 MWD. Now I must say, since you're going to be using the MWD quite a lot, if not all of the time, I would recommend using a T2 over a Meta 4 or Meta 3, because the T2 gives you less of a cap nerf, so you're going to be able to like stay quick all the time in the fleet. I mean, we're only getting like 2 minutes 30 seconds with everything running, so it's not massive, but it does make a lot of a difference when you like burst firing over to get to like other ships and stuff, so that's pretty cool. Other mids, we've got Scram 2 and a Web 2. Obviously you can drop them down to Meta 4s if need be, if you're short on CPU and stuff like that. Lows, we've got Damage Control, Energized Adaptive Nano Membrane, which buffs up the 1600 quite a lot, and the 1600 is hard to fit. Mag Stabs ×2, don't need any tracking for this one, because we're going to be right in close trying to do as much damage, not to frigates. I mean, it's really for like brawling other cruisers and up, which is beast, obviously. Again, the fit's actually quite expensive just for a standard cruiser because of the ancillary current router, like 7mm or whatever on Lycuria at the minute, but I do find it's worth it to have everything on, and it's basically just for that 1600 to get fitted. What I will say about the 1600 though, it is a bitch to fit. I mean, I've got 80 power grid spare there, but that's just mainly due to the ancillary current router. Now sometimes some of the lads that fly with who try and fit this can only fit like an 800 because they've got like lower fitting skills, like I haven't got advanced weapon upgrades and all that shit for the grid of the turrets and stuff, so it is harder for them. So sometimes they leave the ancillary on, but they can just use 800 and then that leaves some spare grid and stuff to fit like like a few ions or something like that, just to get some extra DPS. And it is pumping out quite a lot of damage, so we'll just run through the DPS figures now. Obviously you want to try and keep it overloaded. So let's get all that up there. And what we've got in void. Yeah. So with this fit I normally use void because like I say we're going to be shooting ships either equal size or bigger, like to start with. So the DPS is 734.7 and that's quite a lot from Electrons, I must say. And that's obviously with the void. It's going to be a little bit less with a Caldorian Navy antimatter if you prefer that. But like I say, DPS for this one. Range is pretty short, obviously we haven't got any tracking enhancers or any other form of tracking on there. So we've got fall off within, well, just over 4, optimal just over 2. So literally all you want to be doing is just getting into the middle of the fight, bursting that MWD, web scram, turn the MWD off and then do your dirty work on whatever ship you need to do and it will die pretty quick. With null, not that I would recommend using null, but I normally take some just in case. You never know when you get caught off some stupid frigate because you're not going to be able to hit frigates like easily with the no tracking on this. DPS 569, so it's still not too shabby with the null. And the range is still, so you've still got like a sub 10k range, so you may as well just be using the void all the time because once you're in sub 10k range you can just get a web on and happy days there. But the null's still good to take, like I'd definitely recommend taking at least 1,000 rounds of it just to get yourself loaded once with it, just in case, you never know. Right, so moving on to overall HP, just turn damage control on, that would be a good idea. So we get just under 25k effective hit points in total. Resists aren't too bad apart from the explosive, but you know you can sort of forgive that one for the rest of the high buffer. That 1600 plate really does make the difference. In a fleet obviously when you're getting bonuses and stuff, I have had it up to like 33,000 HP, which is pretty beast-like for what DPS it does and stuff like that. So yeah, it's all around good ship. I nearly forgot about the drones there guys. Hammerhead 2s, or just Hammerhead 1s, whatever you can use, preferably over a flight of lights, because like I say, you're going to be shooting ships either equal size or up, like battle cruisers and stuff like that, so you need as much DPS and buff on it. Happy days. So that's my 2 thorax fits guys. The shield one I've been flying a lots and lots and lots, and this armour one is what I would use if I was going to be in one of the big RVB fleets, just get on some kill mails and shit, because you're going to last the field and do lots of damage, and it's always nice. But like I say, when you're flying like thorax and stuff, you will tend to get primary by other FCs if they've got any brains at all, because they do quite a lot of damage and they're a little bit squishy. So next up we've got, I'll throw in some vigilant footage, some stuff that's going to be coming up where I warped into like a little fleet, and it's pretty much, the figures are pretty much similar to the thorax, but the DPS is obviously a little bit higher, but it's the same principle the way you fly it. So that'll be on the screen now. So guys, basically what we're looking at, I've got a vigilant ASB fit, so I've just warped to 30, and this was a fuck up on my part. I landed straight on this aileron that was heading for us, but luckily, yep, insta popped with the vigilance extra DPS stuff. Straight away I need to be burning away from these guys because they're all in like little fast ships, so that executioner could get pretty close to us really quick. So I just need to make sure, and we knew there was a big red blob on the other side of the gate. So I'm definitely keeping range. I mean, a lot more range than what the ship can actually shoot at. I think it's only like 30k. But there you go. So straight away the fleet lands, or jumps, sorry, and there's a couple of ships coming straight for us, and this is exactly what I want. They're separated from their main fleet. There you go. Boom. Couple of shots, dead. Even in the thorax, 3 or 4 shots he would have been history straight away. Like, he wouldn't have had a chance to warp. And this malediction does exactly the same thing. He's not coming directly for us, but his transversal's pretty low for like my tracking. So 1 or 2 shots there, he turns and starts tries burning out. Too late. I mean, I've got a point on this, but the thorax would have had him anyway. I've done the same in the racks. But that for me is the ideal situation for the thorax hull with the shield fit like that. Just walk to a fleet, then burn away. I mean, it's not hard. All you're doing is basically using their mistakes against them, because they're going to be approaching low transversal, your tracking's high. They're just going to be getting insta-raped, and obviously the quick interceptors and stuff, they're going to be like low tank, like all speed and stuff like that, so you can pretty much like insta-pop them. So yeah, that's the way they'll fly. Obviously I got tracking disrupted here, so I decided to fuck off and be brave. So that's it for the Thorax, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, learned something, or laughed your tits off at the way I fit the actual ships and never going to speak to us again, but it's been fun. I've actually quite enjoyed this one, and it's kicking up, Jesus, 15 minutes, so I better shut the fuck up now. Whatever other ships you guys want to see, just leave a comment saying, so you're flying, and then the ship type, so it'll be like, so you're flying a Macarial, so you're flying a Merlin, or something like that. Or any questions you have about the fits, or you're struggling with anything, just give us a shout in game, or comments, or email, or however else you can get in touch with us. So yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks again, and I'll catch you next time.